Live from the soccer complex on the campus of the College of Staten Island, you're watching exclusive CUNYAC men's soccer coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet. This afternoon, the College of Staten Island will look to extend their unbeaten record in conference play to 4 as they will take on your college here in this conference matinee game. Hi, everybody. Mike Babuski here as the College of Staten Island continuing to play well, continuing to improve here in 2018, and they're going to look to extend their unbeaten record in the conference to 4 in a row as they'll take on your college here this afternoon. And CSI coming off of a big win earlier on Wednesday against Medgar Evers by a final score of 5-0, and earlier before that they had their 4-game unbeaten streak come to an end against Rutgers Newark by a final score of 2-1. And, we'll just take you back first to that Rutgers Newark game. It was a game where the College of Staten Island really played well and, were able to come back in that second half. And they were able to get a late goal by Joe Boella in the 70th minute. And that tied the game up at 1, but with just a minute or so remaining in the second period of extra time, Franco Cantina was able to score his 9th goal, and it was a penalty kick goal for that 9th goal, and that dropped the College of Staten Island and ended their 4-game winning streak. But then on Wednesday afternoon, they traveled into Brooklyn to play Medgar Evers at Kingsborough Community College, and they got off to a nice, strong start in that game, picking up 4 goals in the first half. Boella getting the first one, another assist from Lefkowitz on that goal. Bryant Navarro then picking up the final 3 goals in that first half. College of Staten Island picked up a 4-0 lead in that one, scored their 5th goal in the second half, and really cruised to a nice victory against Medgar Evers. That extended the College of Staten Island's unbeaten streak in conference play to 3, and Medgar Evers dropped to 0-3 in that game. So a couple of very positive things happening for the College of Staten Island. One thing that did occur is Christian Carucci picking up a red card in that game against Rutgers Newark, so he was unable to play against Medgar Evers, and he'll be out of the lineup today as well. So it'll be Oscar Torres starting in goal here for the College of Staten Island, as they're going to come in and they're going to face a York College team that's also been struggling a little bit this year, coming in with a record of just 1-7-1 there, 1 victory actually in their opening game. So they have been on an 8-game unbeaten streak since that opening game victory, and they've played 3 conference games as well, dropping 2 of them and getting a nice tie against Hunter College. So they're coming in and they're struggling a little bit, but with this York College team, they're always going to have players that have ability. They're going to come out and they're going to be able to play very hard. So we do expect a very exciting game here this afternoon between the College of Staten Island and York College. Turning our attention quickly to the CUNYAC standings, the College of Staten Island, Baruch, and Brooklyn all remain undefeated in conference play. CSI with 3 wins, Baruch and Brooklyn with 2 apiece. Lehman College coming in 4th now with a 2-1 record. Hunter 1-1-1, John Jay 1-2. York College 0-2-1, so they're going to come in and play with a state of desperation here this afternoon and try to move your way back up into the conference standings. CCNY really struggling this year, still looking for their first win overall. They're 0-2 in the conference, as is Medgar Evers, who is 0-3 in conference play, also still looking for their first victory of the season. So the College of Staten Island continuing to play well this year, continuing to put a lot of pressure on, continuing to show the ability to score goals at times. But, again, you go back to a couple of losses this Dolphin team has suffered in the game against Rutgers Camden and the game against Rutgers Newark, some opportunities to score goals. And even in that game earlier this year against Stockton, they did have opportunities to score goals in that game and just couldn't find the back of the net. But, you look at this Dolphin team, you see a lot of firepower on it. Navarro leading the team in goals with 11. Boella, 9 goals on the year. Lefkowitz having a huge year for the Dolphins, 5 goals and 8 assists. as the Dolphins continue to play well. They've already scored 39 goals this year and allowed just 11. And, with that goal differential, that the numbers tend towards success. And the Dolphins right now in the middle of a 4-game consecutive conference play schedule, having won their game against Medgar Evers. York College will be coming in here today, and then the Dolphins will go on the road against Brooklyn this Wednesday afternoon, and then we'll play Hunter College this Saturday, a week from today, right here at the College of Staten Island complex. So the men's soccer team continuing to play very well. They've won 5 out of their last 6 games, undefeated in conference play, and really looking to continue their strong play here in 2018. And why we have a couple of minutes here before the start of the game, we're very pleased and excited to be joined by Athletic Director Charles Gomes. Charles, thanks for joining us this afternoon on CSI Sportsnet.
Thanks for having me, Mike. We got a beautiful day for a soccer game today.
Charles, you look at this men's soccer team, and, they've really been playing very good soccer this year, and, coming in with a 7-3 record overall. And, when you look at those 3 losses, especially the ones against Rutgers Camden and Rutgers Newark, a lot of opportunities for the Dolphins to have been successful in both of those games. So you really have to be excited about how well they've played so far this year.
No, very excited. In conference, we played very well. The game this past week against Rutgers Newark, big improvement from last year. I think we lost 4 or 5-0 last year, and they jumped on us in a hurry. But to see us go to double OT and then kind of what I'll say get robbed in the game on a very controversial red card that resulted in a PK is tough to take in double overtime. But John's guys played really, really well that game. They composed themselves throughout the game. Even though they were down 1-0 for an extended period of time, they never quit, and they ended up getting the goal to tie it up, and I think somewhere around the 70th minute, and then battled in overtime and then in the double OT. So very proud of how they're playing. I'd like to pull one of those out here soon, but the focus for us is really going to continue to be the conference. So we'll see what we have today when we play York. I know their record's not as good as they want it to be, but they're always a dangerous team, so it's not someone you can look past, and it should be an exciting game.
Charles, you look at this Dolphin team, they've only allowed 11 goals this all year long, and they've scored 39, led with 11 by Bryant Navarro and Joe Borella with 9 goals as well. So this team does have a lot of firepower, and the way they've been playing, you have to be excited about the way the conference is shaping up.
Yeah, I mean, it's still very early. We got to get through we're not even halfway through conference play yet, but very excited about our potential offensively. You mentioned some of the names, Navarro, Bolella, Phil Lefkowitz has played really well, high energy, very active. He's got a lot of weapons for this Dolphins team, and I think defensively he's also excellent. There haven't been, from what I can recall from most of the games, there haven't been that many opportunities for the opposition. We've really limited their shots, and I think the back line, while it's not a sexy, glamorous position, they've been very solid behind there for us defensively.
Charles, everything in soccer starts from the back on out. And, if you're not successful defensively, you really can never have success. And like you mentioned, this CSI Dolphin defense is exceptionally strong in the back. And, you look at players like Miguel Morales, who came back a couple of games into the season, and other players in the back. Joe Albanese has played very well. Wilson Quintero has been very solid in the back all day long. And, although Eric Condi not available in the lineup today, he's also been very solid in the back for you.
Yeah, I was happy to hear you mention that last name because I think he's someone that goes most coaches will probably watch our team play and not really – he doesn't draw a lot of attention, but he just makes plays consistently, as do the others back there, Miguel and Wilson. And, I think you mentioned Joe as well. So just really solid back there. Ryan Lehman, another great performer for us on the back. Just very consistent. They're not going to make the spectacular plays, but they make the game-winning plays that we need in order to be competitive. And we're going to need that to be continued from that group throughout the entire year if we get to our ultimate goal in making the NCAAs.
You know, Charles, head coach John Tardy made a decision to go with the true freshman Christian Carucci in goal. And, you know, it really looks like a decision that's paid off, although he's not available to play this afternoon because of that earlier red card you mentioned. He's really played well, and one of the things you really noticed about him is, for the most part, he doesn't make that big mistake that cost you that big goal.
I'm going to hope you're not jinxing us right now by saying that as we go long-term to the season. No, but in all seriousness, he's really been solid for us in the back. But I feel good about our other keepers as well. I think today, even when you come out, you see a kid like Oscar Torres or Jake Foldis that can get their opportunity. And they're both solid players as well. But Carucci, with him, the one thing that I really love is his ability to get us into an attacking position very quickly. He's got an unbelievable leg. And you've seen him on some of his kicks. He just sends it well into the opposing territory. And the next thing you know, we're attacking the opponent's goal. But he's very active back there, Carucci. He's loud. He's a leader. He's vocal. So he brings a lot to the table, and you need that from that position.
And, you know, Charles, the team always looking to develop new players and get new players into the lineup, and you got to be very excited the way that Carlos Montesinos has played really since he stepped out onto the field. And Mackie Jagum is another first-year player that really comes to mind that has really played exceptionally well since starting this season.
Yeah, I personally love both those kids. I love the energy that they play with and the knowledge that they bring to the game. Their numbers probably aren't where they would like them to be individually, but our team numbers are with the wins. So I think when you have kids performing that way, they may not necessarily get their goals or the assists, but they're leading to goals for our team overall.
So we're going to step aside for the national anthem, and we'll be right back. We're back, and we're just moments away from the start of this afternoon's game between the College of Staten Island and York College. And while the players are shaking hands out on the field, let's bring you the starting lineups for this afternoon's game. First, for York College in goal, it will be Johan Bermeo. The remainder of the starting lineup for the Cardinals: number 3, Akindi Campbell; number 4, Frank Magapol; number 5, John Pazenbach; number 6, Vladimir Pavlik; number 9, Rohan Burrell; number 10, Ivan Brito; number 11, Ibrahim Ramos; number 12, Adime Akinde; number 14, Manahouf Drusu; and number 17, Mamadou Balde. For the College of Staten Island, we mentioned Oscar Torres will be in goal. The remainder of the lineup for the Dolphins in numerical order: number 3, Joe Albanese; number 9, Chris Vendra; number 12, leading goal scorer Bryant Navarro; number 13, Yahia Lara; number 14, Jonathan Villamar; number 15, Joe Borella; number 16, Philip Lefkowitz; number 17, Wilson Quintero; number 23, Mike Arianes; and number 27, Miguel Morales. As we mentioned earlier, Oscar Torres in goal, replacing Christian Carucci. Carucci sitting out the second game of his 2-game suspension for his red card earlier this week against Rutgers Newark. So, Charles, an exciting game, another beautiful afternoon. What are you looking for the Dolphins from the Dolphins here this afternoon.
I think for me, Mike, the interesting thing will be you've got a couple of lineup changes today. So some of the typical starters aren't in the lineup for various reasons, whether it be a little bit banged up or, like you mentioned, the red card for Carucci. So curious to see how those substitutes do in this opportunity for them to really shine. When you're a bench player, you're a reserve, you seek these opportunities and try to find those chances where you can show the coaching staff that you want a little more playing time and that you earn it. So yeah. I'll be watching those players today.
Charles, it's almost hard to believe, but there's really just about 3 weeks left in the season. It goes so fast. So a big game here this afternoon, and then 2 more big conference games coming up in a row for this Dolphin team.
Yeah, it's always amazing. I guess I should just be used to it by now, but the soccer season goes so quickly. I was discussing this with our women's coach earlier in the week. Before you know it, it's you're into the month of October and you're staring down the playoff schedule. You're worrying about injuries and resting players and having them prepared for playoffs. And we're almost to that point now. It's the end of September. You're in the heat of conference play, and you just hope that your teams perform well.
So a beautiful sunshiny day here this afternoon, and we're about to get underway. The College of Staten Island against York College. York will go from right to left. The Dolphins from left to right here this afternoon, as the Dolphins with the first touch, and it'll be Vendra to bring the ball across midfield. And Dolphins have played very well in midfield this year, Charles. As they get a quick pass and a quick outlet pass right away and put immediate pressure on. And, just like that Medgar Evers game, Charles, Dolphins coming out strong immediately and immediately getting the defensive team back on their heels.
Yeah, and that was even the case going back to last Saturday's game with John Jay. Very quick to attack offensively. And there's a number of players that Coach Tardy can rely on to get into the offensive attack, and you see it with guys like Balella and Lefkowitz and Navarro.
As they get in quickly, and the first shot at goal is going to be blasted over the top, and that's Navarro. And, he could turn defense into offense so quickly. You just give him any space at all, Charles. He's been able to exploit it. 11 goals already for Navarro.
It's really interesting because as you watch him, he's very slight of build. He's not the most physically gifted player out there, not the biggest guy. But the ball seems to find him. He gets himself in great positions in front of goal to attack offensively, whether it's for him or for a teammate. He just always seems to be in the right place.
As the Dolphins get the ball back up over to Quintero on the near side of the field, as the Dolphins have been in possession here through the first 90 seconds or so. No score between the Dolphins and the Cardinals. Just underway here. Beautiful afternoon. Not much wind, Charles. It's been some nice weather so far this soccer season.
Yeah, it's interesting because out here, the wind can be a serious factor. Not much so today, but there are times when the wind is gusting here. It's a true advantage to be facing one direction. Not really a factor in today's matchup.
As that's going to be headed in midfield by Vendra, as the Dolphins will play the ball off toward the far sideline. It will go out of bounds, and it will remain a throw-in for the Dolphins, as they've dominated possession here in the early going and are looking to get a sustained offensive attack going. And once again, a nice play by the Dolphins to keep the ball back into the Cardinal zone. Dolphins can really put a lot of pressure on you with a lot of different plays, and here they are once again as that shot and in is drilled into the net. Wow. And a great start for the Dolphins here this afternoon as they're going to take a 1-0 lead, and that was a beautiful shot that time for the Dolphins, and I think that was Vendra with the goal.
Absolutely.
And the Dolphins lead 1-0. Another good start for the Dolphins.
We talked earlier about the number of offensive options, and Chris Vendra was a name I don't think we mentioned in the pregame. But clearly, a lot of weapons here for the Dolphins, and Vendra from way, way outside. I thought he was looking to pass the ball, but really struck it well and drilled it home for the Dolphins.
Yeah, Bermeo didn't have really a chance at that. He just watched it go into the goal into the near post, as Vendra will pick up his second goal of the afternoon. And, the Dolphins took the ball from the far side of the field, Charles, and brought it all the way back to the near side and really had a lot of room in that Rutgers defense.
Yeah.
York, I should say.
Yeah, Vendra, I think, was looking to pass, but then was shocked to see that he was so open. No one ever approached him defensively and just gave it a rip, and he found the back of the net.
And the Dolphins looking to attack once again, as it'll be Arianes with his first touch of the afternoon. getting the ball up over to Lefkowitz. Lefkowitz breaking in right toward the net, centering it in front, and an opportunity there for the Dolphins, and that ball's going to be cleared away. But you talk about a player that's really played well, as another shot towards goal will go wide. But Philip Lefkowitz, Charles, really reverting back to his freshman form. 5 goals, 8 assists already on the year for Lefkowitz. And, he's another player that seems to be playing a step faster than the opponents.
No, you're 100% correct, Mike. I think the word that comes to mind when I watch Phil play this season has been just active. He's been active constantly. He's probably our most active player on the field, and he just creates opportunities. You mentioned it with his goals and his assists. But his overall activity, he seems to put the ball in play for his teammates very frequently. Rough pass there.
As York looking to get possession of the ball really for one of the first times here this afternoon, but once again, the Dolphins' defense right there to recover the ball, and it's Navarro looking to play it in midfield, but that time a nice defensive play by Brito, as York College once again struggling to put anything together. Beautiful flick from Lefkowitz over to Arianis. He looks to chip that ball in front, and it'll be Bermeo there to make the play, but once again, the Dolphins presenting a lot of challenges for the Cardinals.
And the name you mentioned already a few times, Phil Lefkowitz there with another very nice pass, giving Dolphins an opportunity. Ooh, we got an opportunity here for York.
Yeah, big opportunity that time as Torres takes himself out of the net. That shot's going to be knocked away. That next shot will be blocked and wide. Dolphins very fortunate. I think that might have caught the post on the play.
The post.
And that time, Torres got himself caught out a little bit far out of goal, and the Dolphins, who were dominating all game long, Charles, nearly found the game level at 1.
No, we talked in the pregame, Mike, about the consistency of the Dolphins' back line, and there I think you saw a perfect example. Wilson Quintero really steps up and makes a beautiful play when the goalkeeper finds himself out of position, saves a goal that was almost looked to be a certain goal by York.
So the Dolphins escape there and look to challenge once again, and it's Lefkowitz in the center of the field looking to create a little bit of space. He gets past a couple of defenders, look to thread the ball through that time to Boella, but that pass will be knocked away, and now it'll be the Cardinals, Akinde, looking to play it away, but now it's Arianis who is looking for Lefkowitz, and Lefkowitz, a beautiful play to knock that ball away and keep it in bounds once again, and he's going to be taken down.
No call.
No call on the play.
And, Mike, I think we talked about Lefkowitz and the big difference being his activity. He just seems to be, now that he's healthy, so much faster than he was previously. And basically the player that Coach Tardy recruited, he's had a difficult time in his career here at CSI so far, always battling injury. But now that he's healthy, he just has brought another dimension to this team.
Morales now in the back line. And, once again, you look at the Cardinals play out on the field, Charles, all 11 players back on the defensive side. The Dolphins have the whole midfield to operate unimpeded.
Yeah, I think it tells you something about the York strategy here, that they respect the Dolphins' attack and are doing everything in their power to try to defend here.
So the Dolphins look to break through as Albanese passing that ball out onto the far sideline. It's going to be chipped in front. It's going to get over the head of everybody to Arianis. He turns, centers the ball in front, and that shot's going to be knocked away by Bermeo. The next shot is saved as well, and that was a beautiful, unselfish play that time by Arianis. Nearly led to the Dolphins' second goal.
Yeah, Arianis with a really nice pass, and then even on the rebound, I believe that was Balella who had the rebound in the second attempt. Looked like a save by the keeper there. I couldn't quite see it. Had a little bit of a blind spot. But the Dolphins continue to attack here, Mike.
Now Morales playing the ball back. And, one of the things about this Dolphin team, Charles, really from the first game on forward, very entertaining soccer to watch. It's very exciting. There's always a lot of chances, and they seem to come up with a lot of nice offensive plays. Look at that one, is Lefkowitz.
Lefkowitz again, yeah.
Heading it down up over, looking for Arianis on the play. Arianis really pressuring Macpagal. It's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to end up with the Cardinals in possession for a throw-in deep in their own territory, but Dolphins continue to press, and other than that one little hiccup defensively, Charles, the Cardinals really struggling just to get possession of the ball.
Yeah, Mike, you mentioned that was more of a Dolphins mistake that led to their earlier opportunity, but it really hasn't been much possession here by York so far in this game. It's really just been completely dominated by CSI.
So it's going to be the Dolphins to throw it in. Is Quintero getting it in quickly, looking for Navarro. It'll be knocked out of bounds, and Dolphins will throw it in once again as Quintero will come in to throw it. Quintero looking to play the ball out in front that
It's going
time.
to be York possession, it looks like, Mike.
Yeah, it will be, but the Cardinals will have to throw it in from deep in their zone, and Dolphins really squeezing in on them and really making it difficult for the Cardinals to escape their defensive zone. They're not able to do it once again, and now we're going to get a foul called on the Cardinals, and this should lead to a good opportunity for the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's going to be Lefkowitz here taking the kick. But bottom line for York, they need to possess the ball. I haven't seen more than 2 or 3 passes from them before they turn it over. And the Dolphins seek to capitalize again here with Lefkowitz on the kick.
So Lefkowitz will take the free kick opportunity here for the Dolphins. And he does have the ability to strike it towards goal. So we'll see what happens as he winds that one towards the far post and headed over the top. Nice play that time. Dolphins just couldn't put the ball on the net.
Really good ball by Lefkowitz. I think that was Wilson Quintero who tried to head it into goal. Obviously a little high, just off his mark, and York will now have possession.
Yeah, the Dolphins already with 4 shots on goal. So they've been able to put a lot of pressure on this Cardinal defense and, really coming out and pressing the Cardinals forward.
But, Mike, you made a great point earlier. As you look at the field and York's distribution of players, everything is on their defensive zone.
As the Dolphins look to press forward, and we're going to have another foul called on the Cardinals as Arianos and Ramos come together, and now the Dolphins play it forward quickly. Quick give and go that time, but the ball will be knocked back. And the Dolphins will go back to play it, and that'll be Albanese on the far side of the field as Dolphins continue to play the ball forward. They were looking to break forward, but the Cardinals forced to knock it out of bounds once again. So Dolphins able to throw the ball in.
Dolphins have maintained possession throughout most of the first 10 minutes here, Mike.
Yeah, they're really playing well once again here this afternoon and looking to continue to play well in the conference. And you look at the conference and Brooklyn and Baruch still undefeated in conference play. And
who does Brooklyn play today? Who's their conference matchup? Do you have that?
I do. Let's see. Today, Brooklyn will play Lehman at 3 o'clock.
So that should be a good
As
test.
that ball is headed. Beautiful save by Bermeo, but knocking the rebound in for the Dolphins on the play is Arianos, who drills it home, and the Dolphins lead 2-0. And Charles, the Cardinals just can't prevent the Dolphins from buzzing all around the net.
No, again, one save by the keeper, and then Mikey with the quick follow off the rebound. And we talked about players who have improved since last season, and I've got to say Mikey is one of these guys who has definitely improved. Tremendous difference from him from the 2017 season to now. He's been much more of an impact player, just lending itself to that Dolphin attack, another weapon that they have.
So Arianos comes up big with the Dolphins' second goal, and before we're even in the 13 minutes or 12 minutes into play, Charles, the Dolphins go up with a big 2-0 lead.
Now, and it looks, Mike, we're right back in here with CSI attacking again offensively. York just cannot maintain possession of the ball and get the ball on the Dolphins' defensive half. It's really been amazing here.
Yeah, and the Dolphins looking to gain their first CUNYAC championship in quite some time and really have played very well. And, you look at this roster, Charles, it's hard to see a returning player that hasn't gotten better, that's not playing better than they have for this CSI team.
No, we looked last year in the 2017 season. Offensive goals were very difficult to come by for the Dolphins, and that could not be more different this year. The attacking style that they have, they possess the ball well, just played sound soccer, and the individual contributions you receive from several offensive players has just led to an unbelievable number of opportunities.
As
look at this.
another goal drilled into the net, and that's going to be Navarro once again as he picks up his 12th goal of the year. And, he just sitting in the middle of the field. And, a player like Navarro, he's not going to drill that over the top. He's going to put it in the net, and the Dolphins lead 3-0.
Just the things we talked about in the pregame there, Mike. You've got Phil Lefkowitz on the assist, and the ball seems to find Navarro in a perfect scoring opportunity, and he knows what to do with it. He puts it away. He doesn't hit it wide, doesn't hit it high, puts it right on goal, and that's why he leads the CUNY Conference in goals.
12th goal of the year for Navarro, and that gives the Dolphins a 3-0 lead, and a real solid start for this Dolphin team. And, other than the Rutgers-Newark game, Charles, not only did the Dolphins score a lot of goals, they don't give up any.
No, and we even talked about just the opportunities. Right now, York had that one opportunity, and when you're the team that's struggling to win games, you can't pass up those opportunities like York did earlier. And now let's see what they do here. They've got a possession in midfield. This will be one of their only other opportunities thus far today to try to formulate something offensively.
The Dolphins have just allowed 2 goals in their last 7 games, and those 2 goals both in the game against Rutgers-Newark. So Dolphins playing well offensively and defensively, and that's the thing with this team. Even if you get a little bit of a break, there's a lot of plays in the back that are able to shut you down. And here they come once again as the Dolphins looking to attack quickly again. As Arianes is going to chip that ball to the far post just a little bit ahead of everybody. But the Cardinals forced to give away the corner. And Dolphins with 7 shots on goal will now get their first corner kick.
Mike, the assault continues from the CSI offensively. It's just been really impressive to see the constant attack that they've put York under, constant pressure. York's turning it over as a result of the pressure, and let's see what Lefkowitz can do with this corner.
So Lefkowitz will come over and take the corner, and Phil usually takes the corners from either side of the field for the Dolphins as he winds that one towards the far near post. A beautiful corner kick knocked away by the Cardinals, but they're unable to clear, and now they're able to knock the ball out of the zone, and it's going to be played forward once again by Navarro as Dolphins look to attack, and it's Lefkowitz. Lefkowitz getting it into the center of the field, a lot of room, and that shot's going to be drilled up over the top. So a little bit of an ambitious effort that time, but another nice shot by the Dolphins as they get that one towards goal, and it'll be a free kick for the Cardinals.
On that opportunity was Vendra again. He found himself in an identical position to where he was earlier in the game, and I think he figured, why not? I hit one from here earlier. Let me try it again. That one well off the mark.
Yeah, and, such an advantage, Charles, to come out and get that early lead. You can just play a lot more relaxed and a lot more free. And, the Dolphins really coming out, and with a 3-0 lead, they're going to be able to come out and really play with a lot of confidence here.
Yeah, I think you'll see them continue to attack. I don't see CSI changing anything from a strategy standpoint. If anything, you become more aggressive when you have the lead because you start to build up your confidence, and we're seeing that right now.
Arianes with the beautiful ball from Albanese. He plays it forward now to Lefkowitz. Lefkowitz flying in. He tried to heel that ball back, but Macapagal able to knock it away, and that ball's going to be knocked out of bounds, so it'll be a throw-in for the Dolphins.
Looks like it's going to be Lefkowitz throwing it in for CSI.
Lefkowitz does have the ability to get that long throw in, and it looks like that's what the Dolphins plan to do here, is that's thrown in right toward the near post, and able to get his foot on the ball that time is Navarro, but the ball's going to get knocked away, and now it's Albanese. Albanese winds and fires, and that's going to be Permio making the save. Nice shot that time by Albanese as he tries to get into the scoring column as well.
We talked about increasing your confidence with the lead, and I think that's a perfect display of that confidence right there from Joe, taking that opportunity.
That ball played out into the center of the field, and Vendra there to play it away. And there's another player, Charles, that seems to be always around the ball, always making a good play. And you don't have that big turnover in midfield when Chris has the ball on his foot.
No, another new player to the mix for the Dolphins, Chris Vendra. He's been in and out of the lineup a little bit, but has been effective when he's been in there. And today has been no different for him. He's been quite effective through the first half here today.
Quintero getting the ball back, and he plays it over to Morales. And You don't get to talk much about these Dolphins in some of these games we've covered, Charles, because the Dolphins' defense just doesn't seem to have that much action. They put so much pressure on the opposing team, and this might be the first throw-in on the Dolphins' offensive side of the field of the half for the Cardinals. And I can't remember a play as they turn and get that one towards goal. So at least that time they're able to put one towards goal. Torres right there to make the save, but Cardinals able to get a little offense going on that last possession.
But Mike, I have to tell you, it seems like a wasted opportunity. They finally had possession in the offensive attacking end, and they just took what was really not even a good opportunity.
Lefkowitz off that nice pass from Navarro. Lefkowitz turning and putting that ball right into the center of the field, and now it'll be Brito coming away with a little bit of space. Brito looking to get the ball forward now to Burrell. Burrell looking to work one-on-one against Quintero, but nice play that time by Quintero, and now it's Morales.
When we talked about limited opportunities for York, and then the response by the CSI back line at both times, it was Wilson Quintero making nice plays defensively for CSI.
Dolphins coming in once again. It's Arianes with some space. Now he gets the ball over in front for the shot, and that's going to go over the top. And that was Navarro once again with the opportunity. A nice setup that time by Lara, but the shot goes up over the top.
Navarro completely unmarked, right where he wants to be, right in an attacking position, just hit the ball. And he's going to regret that one, I'm sure, come halftime.
Yeah, and, the Dolphins making it really tough, although the Cardinals are getting a lot of players back defensively, Charles. It seems like the Dolphins still have the ability to get open all throughout the Cardinal defense.
Yeah, there's no lack of open space here for CSI throughout the first half. A lot of unmarked players for the Dolphins. And here we go again with Navarro.
Navarro looking to come in. He gets it up over to Arianes. Arianes looking to work his way past a Cardinal defender. Now working the ball back up over to Quintero, and now he's going to work the ball all the way across to Albanese. And Dolphins have done a nice job of this, opening the field up and then coming back in behind it. And it's created a lot of space. And here they come right again off the quick throw-in, and that's going to be knocked out of bounds. And looks like it's going to be the second corner kick coming up here for the Dolphins.
Yep, another corner. But again, no hesitation from CSI, just constantly looking to attack. Had the ball on one side, completely switched to the other. It's knocked out, and they're attacking immediately after.
So the Dolphins off the corner kick is another winding ball right in front, and a big opportunity, and this time it will be...
What do we have for? We've got a call here.
Let's see what the call is going to be, and I'm not sure. I think he might have called a penalty on this one. Boy, so it might have been a little bit of a hold or something in front, but boy, it's I didn't see much there, Charles, to merit a penalty kick, but obviously the referee did.
If I could just go off of the visual I see with the official, it looks like he's saying there was some type of hold in front of the goal, and it's going to result in Bolella with the penalty kick opportunity here.
So a big opportunity here for Bolella to give the Dolphins their fourth goal, and really that would help open up a real insurmountable lead, as we have a little bit of a problem out on the field now, as it's Mamadou Balde really getting himself very upset, and I'm sure he's going to be out of the game. And
yeah, he's been issued a red, Mike, and he seems to be wanting to go after the official.
Boy, you're down 3-0. It can never serve any purpose to go ahead and do this, and you can understand the frustration, but it just it could never do any good as the clock continues to wind down now. 23:50 to go.
Yep, and Mike, we're going to get is that Bolella we have on the penalty kick here?
It
looks like it.
It is. It will be Bolella, as he's able to put that one into the net, and that's going to be Joe's 7th goal of the year off the penalty kick, and Dolphins now find themselves in front by a score of 4-0.
Yeah, it looks like we had the foul called on number 17. Obviously disagreed with the call, erupted with the official, earned himself a red, and now he'll be on the bench out for the rest of the remainder of this game.
So the Dolphins now open themselves up to a 4-0 lead, and we're so fortunate to have athletic director Charles Gomes with us. Charles, we have to talk a little bit about a lot of the other fall sports going on, and we're here out at the soccer game here this afternoon, but lots of other action for the Dolphins here today, and starting with a tri-match with the women's volleyball team with Maritime and New Jersey City University, both here this afternoon.
Yeah, and I'm happy to report, Mike, that with the 9 a.m. match this morning, our women's volleyball was successful. They won 3-0 against Maritime, and they'll have the 1 o'clock matchup with Jersey City. So really just an unbelievable start to the season for our women's volleyball program. We talked about improvement of individual players, but probably our most improved program overall from one year to the next. I can't remember the last time that the women's volleyball team had a record of 9-4 with an opportunity to be today, after today's matchup, 10-4. It's just really credit to Larry and the coaching staff for the women's volleyball team, and some newcomers who have really made a difference for that program.
Yeah, it's been a long road for the women's volleyball team, and they've struggled and really trying to break through to the top echelon of the CUNY conference. And like you say, it looks like they've really turned the corner and have really started to improve.
Now they've done extremely well. A couple of the players on the squad are leading the CUNY conference in different offensive categories. Players like Francesca, Margaret, Caitlin Esposito, they've just got a really solid squad right now. And the exciting thing for me with that program is that most of those players I just named, I think all three of them will be back. So if the volleyball staff is able to do some recruiting this offseason, they could potentially be looking at a really competitive team going forward. And with the rest of their schedule this season, they've still got some top dogs in the conference coming up. I know they've got Baruch, Hunter, Brooklyn still to play, and those are the last couple of years anyway been the teams traditionally at the top of the standings. Hopefully the Dolphins will be able to be competitive in those matchups and really see where we'll end up come the end of the season.
Dan, you mentioned Larry Ng, the head coach of the Dolphins, 7-18 in his first season, Charles, but really has turned it around. And you mentioned the Dolphin record here in 2018. Big turnaround for this Dolphins team.
Yeah, it's been outstanding. He's got a bunch of young players on the roster. A couple of freshmen, Ariana Spears, one of the leaders in assists for the conference this year. Really a quality setter. She's only a freshman. Another newcomer, Jayla Guy, is a freshman who's really come a long way from the start of the season to where she is now. Continued improvement for her. And you got to give Larry credit for that. The team is improving every day. An earlier season matchup with John Jay in conference where they were down 2-0 and came back to win 3-2 was just unbelievably impressive.
As another beautiful goal off the give and go that time for the Dolphins, and you watch Lefkowitz put that one in the cage, and Dolphins, that was another beautiful offensive play, and that almost looked like a practice play, Charles. It was so perfectly executed and just gets right in on goal, and no chance at all for Bermeo, and he really hasn't had a chance on any of the 5 Dolphin goals.
No, it's been really difficult for him. Guys are unmarked and just continuously attacking goal. Through the first 25 minutes of this half, we've mentioned a couple of names very consistently, and that's Bryant Navarro and Phil Lefkowitz, and again, the two of them teaming up, as you mentioned, on a beautiful play, give and go, and that Lefkowitz ultimately put into the back of the net.
And the men's soccer team, not the only soccer team in action here this afternoon. Charles, is the Dolphins heading down to Pennsylvania probably as we speak to get ready for a 3 o'clock matchup this afternoon. But the women's team has really been so exciting and played so well. You have to be really excited about the way this team has played under first-year head coach Brittany Caceres.
Yeah, Brittany coming in as a first-year coach, challenge of having a limited roster, a small roster, but she's just done an amazing job. Look at this shot.
As Lefkowitz buries it in the net once again. And
is that Vendra?
Yeah, Dolphins just breaking this one open by a score of 6-0, and will give us an opportunity to talk about some of the other sports, but I don't know where the Dolphins found Samantha Laval, but when you pick up a goal scorer like that, it totally changes the way the program can perform.
Yeah, she's outstanding. The thing that's been impressive to me, though, is she will actually be out today. Minor injury being held out, just more to be cautious than anything else. But she's obviously been impressive, leading goal scorer in the conference. But what I've noticed is individual improvement. We talked about it with the men's program. I've actually seen it within the course of this season with some members of the women's team. So it shows me that Brittany Caceres is doing an outstanding job utilizing her practice time wisely, effectively, to get the most out of her individual players. When I see kids improving from game one to now, it really tells me that there's some solid coaching being done there, and I'm very excited about the future of the women's soccer program.
Yeah, and just like the men's team, the women's team's getting a lot of performance, and again, everything coming from the back. Kayla DiBenedetto really playing well in her second year as goal for the Dolphins.
I'm really glad you mentioned that name, Mike, because that's a player not only improved from last season, but I mentioned the improvement in season. She has improved drastically from game one to now. She's had opposition has had a lot of opportunities against her, and she's held up very well. We've played some very, very difficult teams out of conference, and she's been peppered at times with goal-scoring opportunities, and she's held up well. I'm very, very impressed with her improvement within this season and from last season. And there's not, like we mentioned, a limited roster. So not a whole lot of depth at goal, and she's just held up very well for CSI this year.
Yeah, and, one of the concerns was going to be, that limited roster that you mentioned, Charles. And, the Dolphins started out the season with a couple of back-to-back games. And, you got to give them a lot of credit. They came out, they were in shape, and despite having that limited roster, it really hasn't limit them out on the field, but might limit them in practice a little bit. But when they've gotten out on the field, those players have been able to go out and play a lot of minutes without really showing any signs of wearing down.
No, you make a great point, Mike. I think when you have a limited roster like that, it truly impacts your ability to do certain things from a practice standpoint. If you sit and talk with Brittany, they really can't practice full field. With only having 15, 16 kids available for a practice if someone's injured, that it becomes very difficult to work on all the things you want to. So they're almost having to learn on the fly and improve on the fly in some in-game situations, which makes things very challenging, especially as a first-year head coach. But Brittany's handled it so well. She seems to be more experienced than you might think otherwise, but she's just an outstanding student of the game, and she's passing her knowledge along to the members of her team. It's just been a really great fall for the women's soccer program.
The Dolphins with 11 shots on goal already, and have broken this game open by a score 6-0. Is Venger putting a nice ball across to the far post, and that ball is going to be headed away by the Cardinal defense once again. And the Dolphins just continuing to apply pressure all over the field, Charles, where the Cardinals really can't string together 2 or 3 passes together really at any point.
Now, each time York possesses the ball, they won't have it for more than a pass or two, and they are immediately attacked by a member of the CSI team. And again, it's Vendry here, unmarked, middle of the field, almost picking and choosing opportunities, and just completely mishit ball there by Bilella. He would love to have that one back because that was a goal waiting for him.
Yeah, that was another just beautiful pass into the center of the Cardinal defense, and Cardinals very fortunate to escape another goal there, as that ball's going to go across to Arianas, and it's going to be knocked out of bounds. So it'll be a free kick coming up here with just over 15 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the first half. And just to get back to the women's team a little bit here, Charles, a lot of returning players, and like you mentioned, and similar to the men's team, all of them seem to have really picked up their performance from last year to this year.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at players like Lauren Smith as an improved player for our women's program, even someone who probably doesn't have that many stats, you have them in front of you, but someone like Nermina Bracic, who didn't really contribute very much last season, I look at her individually, and she's just performing better for us, and I give that credit to our coaching staff to continue to work with her, get improvement out of her game, and make her someone who really contributes. But just overall, you can't say there are too many kids on that roster who are not contributing. They've just been so effective.
Yeah, and again, you look towards some of the new players. Of course, Samantha Laval, we've already mentioned, but Marati Palinkovic, really since that first game out at Kane College, has really played all over the field and plays long minutes and seems to have just a ton of energy.
Well, anytime you have a coaching change, the recruiting class is always something that's very difficult to maintain, and that was the case this year for our women's program. But Mersada was one of the freshmen that we were able to keep here and who is contributing to this program, and she's been outstanding for us, just in different roles for us. She scored one of the more beautiful goals I've seen this year at home, and she has the ability to pass, to score. She can defend a little bit. She basically does a little bit of everything, and it's just been highly effective for Brittany in the early part of the season.
Yeah, and a player who I thought 2 years ago was one of the best defenders in the conference, Catherine Mulligan, really seems to have come back into form this year as well, Charles, for the Dolphins.
Absolutely, Mike. We talked about on the men's team the importance of that back line for the men, and it's the same thing for the women. And we've got, I think that's Lefkowitz lining up for another free kick here.
It is, as he's going to take it and look to bend that ball, this time towards goal, and that one's going to go over the top. So another opportunity for Lefkowitz, and a couple of substitutions here for both the Dolphins and the Cardinals, as a pair of number 2s will go in the game. Brenley Salas coming in for the Dolphins, and Adeyu Epalu coming in for the Cardinals, and Mike Ariana's coming out, and Ariana's playing very well in the first half, and he's replaced by a player that's played very well all year in Brenley Salas. And, you know, again, Charles, the way this Dolphin team has played, it's just this player, everybody seems to be playing well.
Yeah, one of the things we discussed was when you're a reserve and you get trying to make the most of those opportunities. Perfect example of that is Brenny Salas. I don't know where he is from a minutes perspective, but he has been highly effective in the minutes that he's received this year, whether it be goal scoring or just creating opportunities for teammates. Brenny has been outstanding in a very limited role this year. And another opportunity here for CSI.
Yes, the Dolphins will drill that one right into the net. And, you know, another opportunity that time, and I believe it might be Lefkowitz once again.
I think it was Lefkowitz on the assist, and I think Jahir, if I'm not mistaken, on the goal.
Yeah, so another goal here for the Dolphins, as that's going to be Jahir Lara getting his second of the year. Lefkowitz picking up another assist, and Dolphins just pouring it on the Cardinals here, Charles, leading by a score of 7-0. And, you know, we knew the Dolphins were playing very well, Charles, and really looked to be a nice favorite coming into today's game, but you really have to be impressed with the way this Dolphin team is playing.
Very surprised today to see. I mean, I know we have some offensive weapons on the team, but to score 7 goals with just over 12 minutes remaining in the first half is really unheard of and completely unexpected, I think, from everyone between you and I to the coaching staff. Yeah. I don't think anyone expected that type of offensive output.
Yeah, and, you know, and this is a Cardinal team that, you know, we've seen come in and give teams a lot of trouble and have a lot of talent. As Lefkowitz looking to keep the ball in play, he's able to do so, looking to take it away from a pair of Cardinal defenders, and now they'll be able to clear the ball down onto the near sideline, and it's going to be Como coming in.
Yep, he definitely earned that one, Como.
So there's going to be a foul called, and, you know, once again, Dolphins comfortably out in front, and an opportunity for Coach Tardy to go with whatever combinations he wants to go with for the remainder of the afternoon.
Now, a really good chance now to empty the bench, really give guys opportunities. And again, we said this is a chance for people. You haven't been getting the minutes you want during the year. Let's see what you have in this chance that you get from the coaching staff today and making the most of those opportunities.
Yeah, and the Dolphins doing well against Medgar Evers, winning their conference game and against York, but a couple of big ones coming up, Brooklyn and Hunter College. So a couple of big conference tests coming up for the Dolphins over the next week.
Yeah, that's going to be very critical for CSI. You know, in the past, they've had different runs during the regular season where they finished well or played well during stretches and then had some letdowns. So I know Coach Tardy is going to be guarding against a similar letdown in this 2018 season. So when you have opportunities to play someone like Brooklyn or Hunter or Baruch, the teams that are traditionally fighting for the title at the end, you want to make the most of that, make the most of it. So let's see what they do as we finish out the regular season here in conference.
Another huge opportunity,
wow,
and that
missed.
One drilled just over the top, and you could see the little bit of frustration from Boella on that one, Charles. He had an opportunity to pick up his second of the game, but just put it over the top of the net.
Didn't miss it by much, but he missed it, so you see that frustration on his face. He hangs his head a little bit because you know you don't get those types of chances all the time But it seems to be Balella's had a couple today during this matchup, and he just hasn't been able to put one. He put one in, but missed a couple others.
So Ryan Lehman actually checking into the game here for the Dolphins in the first half, and he'll replace Bryant Navarro. And Navarro coming up, creating havoc all over the field for the Dolphins in the first half and picking up another goal, Charles.
Yeah, he's what does he have now? 12 on the season to lead CUNY. And if you look at the leading goal scorers in the conference, I think CSI has 3 or 4 of the top goal scorers in the conference. And today's matchup is only going to continue to keep that true. Let's see what Lehman does here today now that he's had a chance to check in.
Yeah, and, it's really this early goal scoring by the Dolphins, and there have been several games, Charles, that we've seen where the Dolphins have really scored right in the beginning of the game, and such a difference from the 2017 team that would play so well for so often in stretches, but just couldn't seem to get that goal. And here, if you give this team an opportunity, they've been able to put the ball back in the net, and it really changes the way you could play when you score those early goals.
Well, one of the things and I'm definitely not a soccer expert by any means, but one of the things that I noticed that's been a difference from years prior, it just seems to be a lot more team play. The possession has been much stronger for CSI. Not as many turnovers as I've seen in the past. Players like Lefkowitz and Navarro and even Salas when he gets his opportunity, Arianis, they seem to be sharing the ball well, not looking to kind of be heroes, but looking for teammates, creating opportunities, and it's just led to a lot of goal scoring.
Dolphins looking to play it up as it's Lehman with his first touch of the afternoon. He looked to get the ball forward to Salas a little bit too far, and it'll be a throw in here for the Cardinals. As Ramos will throw the ball in, that ball will be knocked out of bounds. And the Cardinals will throw the ball in once again.
And turn it over immediately, Mike. It's just, we mentioned earlier, 1 or 2 passes, and CSI ends up with possession.
Yeah, just so many players on the Dolphins that are, looking to make that impression you were talking about, Charles. And, you have a guy like Salas who has 4 goals and 5 assists already on the year, and he can't even find his way into the starting lineup. And, that's the kind of depth this team has. Is now another opportunity as Lehman going to work the ball forward to Salas. Back to Lehman. Lehman's shot is going to be headed away beautifully that time by Mahaf Adrusu to give away the corner. But that was a great defensive play by the Cardinals right there to prevent the 8th Dolphin goal.
Oh, absolutely, Mike. But a little bit of a different look from Ryan Lehman. He's typically on the back line, and now he finds himself in the mix. Doesn't usually get those types of chances at goal, but you could see he's very excited to be having having an offensive opportunity right now.
So Lefkowitz will take the corner kick here for the Dolphins, this time from the near side of the field. The Dolphins' 3rd corner kick. 13 shots on goal, and that one is knocked off the line once again, but it looks like
we're going to get a red there. It looked like a handball.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get a handball and another penalty kick. So an opportunity for the Dolphins to pick up their 8th goal here in this first half. This outcome of this game well decided, but the Dolphins looking to continue to play well in the middle of their 4-game conference streak. This game number 2. Dolphins undefeated in conference play at 3-0, 7-3 overall. And as we mentioned before, Charles, the Dolphins have only given up 1 goal in their last 7 games, as that ball will easily be put into the net, as that was Lefkowitz with the penalty kick, and Dolphins blowing this one open here this afternoon.
Yeah, really an offensive outburst here by CSI. York not doing themselves any favors with their lack of possession or just making mistakes like we just saw the handball there in the box resulting in the penalty kick. Got to be frustrating if you're the coach from York.
Charles, another team in action for the Dolphins today, the women's tennis team heading out to the National Tennis Center and struggling in conference play at 0-2, Charles, and a tough matchup against Hunter College today. But, it's always exciting to get to go out and play in the National Tennis Center.
No, absolutely, Mike. We talked about some of our teams having better records and who's performing well. Clearly right now our women's tennis team is not where we'd like it to be, looking to make some changes there as quickly as possible, get some improvement, and trying to get that team and that tennis program overall up to par with some of our other teams where we're constantly seeking the improvement.
And, the last team in action this weekend will be the cross-country team. And always exciting, Charles. Clove Lake Park, Staten Island event right here on Staten Island. And, that's another program that's
Nice play by
beginning to
Villela.
generate a lot of excitement.
They are, Mike, and I wouldn't be shocked to see, obviously we love hosting our annual event out at Clove Lake, but really looking forward to CUNY Championship time. Coach Jason McFall's done a really outstanding job training our team, full rosters, both men and women, and really strong performances that I've seen thus far. Looking forward to see how the team will finish. What did we have? We have an offsides call.
A beautiful through ball, and the linesman had his flag up, so the offsides on the Dolphins. I believe that the first offsides call of the afternoon for either team with just over 5 minutes remaining.
So Mike, if I could get back to cross country really quickly, look, really strong performances thus far. On the men's side, Spencer Melito has been the CUNY Rookie of the Week, I think, 3 times for his performances in cross country, and really just a strong performer. Looking forward to, I mentioned the CUNY Championship coming up in a few weeks, towards the end of October, to see where both our men's and women's programs could finish. But I have a very good feeling. I could see some top 3 or 4 finishes coming for either the men or the women.
Yeah, that would be real exciting, Charles. You only have to go back a couple of years, and the Dolphins, especially on the men's side, were one of the top performers, and really looking to get back to that here in 2018.
Yeah, and I think we're on the right track. If not this year, we're definitely heading in the right direction with our program right now. Jason's done an outstanding job recruiting. He works really hard. And it's not just the recruiting, but also training the kids that you do have. And look at this opportunity.
Oh, a beautiful header right across the net, and another golden opportunity for the Dolphins, who have 14 shots on goal, Charles, but probably 25 opportunities at the net here in the first half.
Yeah, Vendra just missed that one a little bit wide, but really great ball. I think there was Ryan Lehman on the kick, and then Vendra on the header. Just to the left of goal, but really another good opportunity.
Yeah, and Charles, you could go through some of these contests and really only have a couple of opportunities and a half, but you look at the way this Dolphin team has been playing, especially in conference.
Heads up.
And they just give themselves so many opportunities at goal, and just continue to put the ball in the back of the net.
Well, one of the things that I think is really important that John does, and he and I, it's funny, we were just talking about this earlier today, a couple hours ago, the importance of scheduling. Sometimes you're going to get these types of matchups in conference, so you know that this isn't really how we're going to gauge our soccer program. So it's so important to schedule out of conference really strong. And John's done that with his men's team, where he's picked up some great schools like from the NJAC that he's playing, or he's in a couple of weeks he's going to be playing Amherst up there, who's typically nationally ranked. So when you can balance your schedule, where you have a couple of these types of games that you don't feel you're going to be tested as much, it's really critical to play those solid teams, to keep your team sharp, get ready for the playoffs, and hopefully prepare for what similar competition to that you'd see in the NCAAs.
Yeah, so a nice play once again by Vendra. He continues to play well, and now it's Salas.
Wow.
Salas winding the ball in front,
Great
and
save.
that was Vendra once again, and Vendra all over the field, and once again, the Dolphins really coming out, and, all 11 players really doing their job and really just flying all over the field here in the first half, Charles.
Again, the attack continues, but I'll give the York keeper credit. That was a really nice save. I thought Vendra was definitely putting that one away. Keeper came up with a very nice save there.
So the Dolphins breaking this one open here early in the first half, and really never looking back and opening themselves up an 8-0 lead, and
just very difficult for York to mount any type of offense here. And you can even see now with the score the way it is, a lot less activity from the York players, a lot more standing around, not as active as they were early in the contest. And CSI, just the opposite. You talked about confidence, and I see someone like Carlos Montesinos up top, and he's still pressing. He's still looking to attack and create for opportunities for his team.
Yeah, so the Dolphins, one of several games in the CUNYAC Conference. Baruch will play Medgar Evers. Baruch remaining undefeated in the conference, and the only other team in the conference with a record over 500 overall, and then a big conference game between Brooklyn and Lehman College, and that's
Another
one of those swing
opportunity there,
games.
Mike.
As here comes Salas once again for the Dolphins. Salas looking to step inside. Salas with 5 feet,
Wow.
and he turns and drills it into the net, and the Dolphins lead now by a score of 9-0, and just wide open spaces that time, Charles, for Salas, and another goal scorer who made no mistake.
Nope, we talked about getting your chance coming off the bench, and there he is again, is Brenny Salas, with just really a nice opportunity to put the ball in, and he knocked it in. I think that was Ryan Lehman on the pass, so he'll get credited for the assist. And just Brenny comes in, limited minutes, and he finds the back of the net again.
And that's his 5th on the year to go along with his 5 assists. And the Dolphins breaking this one open with less than a minute remaining here in the first half. And it's been all Dolphins in this one. And a little bit of a surprise how dominant the Dolphins have been here this afternoon, Charles.
Yeah, surprising. With the game earlier this week against Medgar, I know Coach Tardy was a little bit disappointed in the overall consistency of the team. Felt they really played with a little, I won't say lack of passion, but not quite the energy that he was looking for, and they're definitely bringing that energy here today. Maybe, they came off a tough game on that Monday night against Rutgers Newark, so maybe that lended itself to some issues on Wednesday, but there is no sluggishness right now, as we had another shot on.
As Salas just puts that over the top to end the first half, and great 45 minutes of soccer, Charles, there for the Dolphins, and a half you have to be happy with in every way. Dolphins lead by a score of 9-0.
Yep, great first half. Coach Tardy's got to be happy. If you're on the York sideline, it's got to be very difficult to get yourself motivated here, but they've got to try to find a way to bounce back in the second half and at least be a little more active than they finished this first half.
So we're at halftime. The Dolphins leading by a score of 9-0. What we'll do is we'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be back and get you ready for the start of the second half. The Dolphins in control of this one. They lead by a score of 9-0 as you're watching men's soccer coverage right here on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com. We're back, and we're getting ready for the start of this second half. Thanks so much to Athletic Director Charles Gomes, who was nice enough to spend the first half with us and add his color commentary to the game and give us his thoughts on all of the fall sports, as the College of Staten Island in full swing now in their fall sports schedule and continuing to play very well as they lead this game by a score of 9-0. And we'll bring you that scoring in the first half as time allows, as the Dolphins got up and attacked the Cardinals early and really dominated, putting 28 shots toward the Cardinal goal in the first half, just 2 by the Cardinals. Just a reminder, the official clock kept out on the field as we're just about a minute or so into this first half. Chris Lee into the game, and a lot of substitutions out for the Dolphins. And Chris Lee into the game for the Dolphins. Emmanuel Brew into the game. Nicoletto into the game for the Dolphins. Back on the defensive side. Ryan Lehman checked into the game late in the first half. That's Salas now with the ball on the far side of the field. So a lot of opportunities here in this second half for plays to get themselves some playing time as Dolphins lead by a score of 9-0. Philip Lefkowitz picking up 3 goals and 2 assists in that first half as they get another shot towards goal once again. And we should mention for the Dolphins, Jake Folds coming in and playing goal here in this second half for the Dolphins. So Torres goes to the bench. He faced 2 shots in that first half and held the Cardinals scoreless. And, you know, we mention this Dolphin offense all the time, and here they come on the attack once again. As breaking it is Montesinos. He throws that ball across. Salas was streaking across the center of the net. And Dolphins continue to put that ball in front once again. A Dolphin player knocked down. And Dolphins forced to bring the ball back into the center of the field where Aletto has it. And he'll play it now on the far side. I believe that's Cuomo. Now it's Salas with the ball for the Dolphins. Salas looking to chip the ball in towards front. And once again, it's going to require Bermeo to come out and make the play for the Cardinals. And he's been busy, and he's been charged with 9 goals, but really didn't have much of a chance on any of them as the Dolphins have been able to get into that center of the Cardinal defense all afternoon long, really just presenting a bunch of insurmountable problems as now the Cardinals looking to get a rare attack going, as that's going to be Burrell. His pass is going to go up on the far side of the field, but once again, Dolphins come away with the ball, and it's Salas for the Dolphins as they'll look to set the ball up once again. And Salas will get knocked down to the ground, and we'll have a whistle on the play. And we're going to have a card shown, and that's going to be Rowan Burrell, who just had that pass knocked away, who picks up the card, and now we're going to have another foul called, and that's going to be on Kirk Gardner. Gardner, a substitute in the first half. So the Cardinals picking up a quick yellow and a quick foul just over 3.5 minutes into this second half. Vendra picked up the first goal for the Dolphins, and that was in the 5th minute. And, you know, from that point forward, the Dolphins really didn't look back. The Cardinals had one opportunity when the Dolphins led by a score 1-0. A little bit of a mistaken goal by Torres led for an opportunity for the Cardinals to kind of put the ball towards an open net, but their shot went off the post. And a few minutes later, Arianos picked up the Dolphins' second goal, and that was really the last opportunity. Is another opportunity, and a blast towards goal by Salas is knocked away. Now the pass in front, that's going to be blocked, and Fanning on that shot for the Dolphins before putting the ball into the net as the Dolphins pick up goal number 10 as the shot that time by Sosa will give the goal their 10th goal of the game. So Alex Sosa, number 10, picking up the 10th of the year for the Dolphins, or the 10th of the game, I should say. As the Dolphins' offensive explosion just continues here this afternoon, and they pick up a goal here in the 50th minute, and they now lead by a score of 10-0, as it's going to be Alex Sosa picking up his second goal of the year for the Dolphins, and their first goal here in this second half, as they open themselves up a 10-0 lead, first of 4 consecutive games for the CSI Dolphins in the conference. They started out by defeating Medgar Evers in their last conference game by a score of 5-0. They've already beat CCNY and John Jay. And so far they've outscored opponents in less than 4 complete games in the conference by a score of 29-0. It's Bermeo's shot, or the shot, I should say, will be stopped by Bermeo. So the Dolphins, who have not even played 4 conference games yet, already outscoring their conference opponents by a staggering 29-0. As they're going to look to build on that with a couple of conference games coming up this week, a big one on the road coming up for the Dolphins, as that will be at Brooklyn College on Wednesday, and then they'll be back at home next Saturday against Hunter College, as another opportunity is drilled just wide. Big opportunity that time for the Dolphins, but the shot goes wide. As the Dolphins continue to play well here in the second half. Lots of new faces out on the field, but the result has pretty much been the same. A lot of play on the Cardinals' defensive side of the field, as plays coming out and really playing hard for the Dolphins, as it's Sosa once again, and a rare foul called against the Dolphins. Or I should say their first foul here in the second half. All CSI Dolphins here this afternoon. As the ball will be played forward that time by Pavlovic. And once again, the Dolphins able to play the ball out of their defensive zone, as that's going to be Lee. Lee getting the ball into the center of the field that time, as it's going to be Zaki. And here come the Dolphins looking to attack right through the center of the field. The shot by Salas, a beautiful shot and a beautiful save that time by Bermeo, as Salas able to run about 20 yards diagonally right across the center of the field, drill that one on net. But now the Dolphins will pick up the foul, and it's going to be a free kick opportunity here for the Cardinals. Rojas with the ball. Pavlovic into the center of the field now. Now it's going to be Gonzalez. But the pass once again knocked away from the Dolphins. One of the more successful offensive opportunities is now Lehman is going to feed it ahead to Zaki. But a nice defensive play that time by the Cardinals, as Burrell is there to cut the ball away. And now the ball will be knocked out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in here for the Cardinals. CSI women's team on the road this afternoon. They'll play Newman University. Then they'll be back here at the CSI Soccer Complex this Wednesday afternoon, non-conference game against FDU Florham. And then back here at the CSI Soccer Complex once again this Saturday at 2 against CCNY. The women really haven't been challenged at all in conference play. John Jay, the most effective team against them thus far. The Dolphins won that game 3-0. But just like the men, the women have not given up a goal in conference play here in 2018. Ball played out in the center of the field now by Burrell for the Cardinals. And here come the Cardinals looking to attack as it's Burrell. Burrell whistled, and we're going to have a foul called on the play. And it'll be a free kick opportunity here coming up for the Cardinals, and perhaps an opportunity for them to get the ball in the Dolphin penalty area, as the Dolphins have done a great job really limiting the Cardinal opportunities all afternoon long. Really just one opportunity here for the Cardinals, as that's going to be Pavlovic knocking the ball in front. Dolphins able to knock the ball out, but not away, and now they clear it to midfield, where Montesinos plays it out toward the far sideline. Arias Gonzalez looked to play the ball forward. Now it's Rojas for the Cardinals. And that pass is going to go awry, and now the Dolphins will come away with possession of the ball once again. Pass down on the far side of the field. The Dolphins looking to attack a lot of space that time. Once again, as it was Salas once again putting some pressure on the Cardinal defense, but that time his shot knocked away, and now it's Chris Lee. Lee looked to work the ball back, and now it's going to be played out by Sosa. Sosa's shot towards goal will go wide past the near post, so another opportunity toward the net for the Dolphins. That one goes wide, and it'll be a free kick opportunity coming up here for the Cardinals once again. Cardinals play the ball. That's Burrell. As Burrell playing a little bit better here in the second half for the Cardinals. And now Rojas. That time they were looking to play the ball through to Burrell, but instead the ball will go past him, and Folds will get the ball for the Dolphins. Aledo now passing it out onto the far side of the field. And now into the center of the field, and here come the Dolphins on the attack once again. Lee on the near side of the field. Lee with a little bit of space. Lee not able to keep the ball in play, and it'll be a Cardinal throw-in. Cardinals get the ball in now to Pavlovic. His pass down the near sidelines will be out of bounds, and it will be a throw-in here for the Dolphins, as Aledo gets the ball up over to Lehman. Now Lehman in the center of the field. His pass is going to be knocked away and played once again by Quintero. Streaking ball once again down the far side as a beautiful feed in front, as that's going to be Salas getting it onto the foot of Montesinos, and just wide open drills that one back into the net, and the Dolphins get their 11th goal of the afternoon. As a beautiful play that time, as Montesinos running wide open in the center of the field, as Carlos is going to pick up his second goal of the year, and the Dolphins now lead this game by a score of 11-0. So Dolphins continuing to play very well here this afternoon, and really in this second half, just a opportunity for the Dolphins to continue to play, continue to build confidence. You know they're going to want to keep their shutout going here in the second half, but lots of positive things for this men's soccer team here this afternoon. Foul called on the Dolphins, so a free kick opportunity coming up here for the Cardinals. Clock winding down now, just under 30 minutes and 50 seconds remaining here in this second half. And the Dolphins in control of this one. So it'll be a free kick opportunity coming up here for the Cardinals, and an opportunity certainly for the Cardinals to get the ball in the penalty area or perhaps on goal and See if they can challenge this Dolphin defense, and a good opportunity for Folds in goal for the Dolphins. Free kick coming up here for the Cardinals, as that shot's going to be drilled up over the top. And that was Burrell who took that free kick opportunity, but his shot goes up over the crossbar.
For the Cardinals, number 11, Ibrahim Ramos will enter. He replaces number 25, Tyrese Jackson.
So Tyrese Jackson will check out of the game as Ibrahim Ramos checks in for the Cardinals. Dolphins with 9 in the first half. They've already scored 2 here in the first 15 and a half minutes of half number 2, and they lead by a score of 11-0. Aledo on the near side of the field. Long pass looking for Lee. Ball cut out nicely by Rojas, and it'll be played back toward the Dolphin defense, and they'll let it roll back to Folds in goal. Lehman, long pass down the far side of the field, and Salas, who's been running wild throughout the Cardinal defense all afternoon long since checking into the game, but that time he'll be called for the offsides. Free kick coming up here for the Cardinals. As the Cardinals try to push a few players forward here in this second half, and a mistake that time for the Dolphins, and Ramos with a little bit of space. His shot is going to be knocked away, and it's going to be Ramos once again looking to put pressure on the Dolphin defense. It's going to be knocked out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in here for the Cardinals. So the Cardinals get their first little bit of sustained pressure here this afternoon on the Dolphins. Throw in deep inside Dolphin territory. Cardinals loading players into the box, so you know they're going to throw it in deep. Comes to the near post, punched out nicely by Fold, but the Dolphins can't clear it. Is Campbell able to put it inside, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on the Dolphins. And this should be a golden opportunity here for the Cardinals on the set piece, as the clock continues to run with 27 minutes, 25 seconds remaining, and a big free kick opportunity coming up here for the Cardinals, an opportunity to break this Dolphin shutout. Burrell chipping that one toward the far post, but he chips it over the head of everybody and out of play. And that's going to be a free kick opportunity for the Cardinals. So the Cardinals with a rare opportunity at a set piece deep inside Dolphin territory, but their opportunity goes out over the goal line, and it's going to be a free kick now for the Dolphins. Folds skying that one over towards midfield, and it's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to be a throw-in here for the Dolphins. Dolphins looking to play that ball forward as Montesinos look to play forward. It's going to be knocked out of bounds once again, and once again it'll be a throw-in here for the Dolphins. Valletta over to Cuomo on the far side of the field now. Cuomo looking to roll the ball through nicely, but it's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to be a corner kick here for the Dolphins. A nice play that time as they rolled the ball through to Zaki, and the Cardinals forced to knock it over the goal line as the Dolphins pick up another corner kick. Corner kick winding toward the far post. Lee was there. It's going to go out of bounds. This time last touch by the Dolphins, so it's going to be a free kick coming up here for the Cardinals. Just over 25 minutes remaining here in this second half. Dolphins in control from the start of this one. Picking up a goal in the 5th minute by Vendra. Never looking back as Arianis Navarro Boella. Then a pair by Lefkowitz. Lara, Lefkowitz, Salas all picking up goals in that first half. And the Dolphins never looking back, picking up another pair here in the second half and leading by a score of 11-0. Throw-in coming up here for the Cardinals as Vladimir Pavlovic will run over to throw it in. The Cardinals playing a little bit better here in this second half, and the Dolphins with 2 goals and looking for another opportunity here as they're able to pressure the Cardinal defense. But the ball going to be knocked away. That was Montesinos causing a lot of trouble in that Cardinal back line. And the Dolphins end up with another throw-in. Pass on the near side. Now it's Lee. Dolphins forcing the Cardinals to cover both sideline to sideline. And stepping over will be Pavlovic to knock that ball out of bounds. And it will be another throw-in opportunity. Ball rolling in now as the Dolphins will throw the ball in. Lehman. Cuomo back on the defensive side for the Dolphins. Now Aledo. Rolling it forward to Lee. Lee looking to get the ball into the center of the field. As that was Sosa. Sosa played it over to Lee. Lee loses possession. And the Cardinals look to clear the ball out over to the near sideline where Gonzalez has it. And we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the Dolphins. So it's going to be a free kick coming up here for Cardinals. As we're going to have a change in goal here for the Cardinals, as it looks like Tyrese Jackson at the next opportunity will check into the game for the Cardinals. Ramos pressured by Lee. Cardinals now working it up over to Arias Gonzalez. Ramos once again in the center of the field. As the Cardinals look to maintain possession, Montesinos now comes up to challenge, and the ball will come out to Rojas on the near side of the field. Ball knocked out of bounds, and another throw in here for the Dolphins. Dolphins now on the far side of the field. Look to build up offensively once again. Zaki playing it up over to Montesinos. Montesinos with some room. He steps in and just misses the top of the crossbar. Nice move that time by Montesinos. Was able to beat the defender to the inside, but a shot towards goal goes just over the top. And now we'll have a substitution in goal as Tyrese Jackson will check in. He will replace Johan Bermeo. Bermeo gave up 11 goals, but really hard to find a goal you could fault him on, as Dolphins just too much for this Cardinal defense here this afternoon. Cardinals playing the ball up over the near sideline. Brito. Burrell. Over to Ramos. Now it's going to be Brito playing the ball. Brito, a nice play down for Burrell on the near sideline. Burrell trying to pressure back the Dolphin defense. It's going to be knocked out of bounds, and it will be a throw-in opportunity for the Cardinals deep inside Dolphin territory. Brito with the ball. Brito looked to turn, but the Dolphins there. But Montesinos loses possession now. But he's able to steal the ball back, and he's going in one-on-one now. Montesinos against Jackson, and Montesinos able to put the ball into the back of the net. His second goal here in the second half, and the Dolphins lead 12-0. Beautiful play that time by Montesinos, and once he got past the Cardinal defender, it was one-on-one against Tyrese Jackson, who just checked into the game, and that's rarely going to work out for the goalkeeper. And the Dolphins now open their lead to a score of 12-0. So Montesinos now will pick up his second goal of the afternoon, his third of the year, as the Dolphins continue to blow this one open.
Montesinos, his second of the game, fourth of the season, goal scored in the 70th minute.
Cardinals come away with possession of the ball. And it's going to be played down onto the near sideline, as the Cardinals looking to fight their way through, but the Dolphins able to knock the ball away. But the Cardinals now putting a little pressure on the Dolphins, as that's going to be stolen by Burrell. Burrell has played well for the Cardinals here in the second half as he gets it over to Oscar Rojas. Rojas over to Ramos as the Cardinals look to get a give and go going with Brito. Brito now looking to break into the box. He's knocked down to the floor, and a tough penalty called against the Dolphins, and that's going to put their shutout streak in jeopardy within the conference, as a golden opportunity for the Cardinals to get on the scoreboard. That was a tough penalty call on the play. So we'll see what happens here, and if the Dolphins can can keep their shutout streak going, Brito will take the penalty here for the Cardinals. Brito looking to step on the line, as we're going to have a whistle on the play, as the official coming over, and looks like head coach John Tardy will pick up a yellow card, but he really did not like that penalty called. And we mentioned earlier the Dolphins only allowing goals in one of their last 7 games. They had not allowed a goal in conference play, and that was deep on the on the near side of the penalty area, and not much of a challenge towards goal, and a play that could have been embellished a little bit by the Cardinal offensive player, but nonetheless, a penalty kick upcoming here for the Cardinals, is Brito looking to take the penalty when the official gives the signal. Clock continuing to roll here as Brito winds, and the shot, and the goal. So the Dolphins give up their first goal in conference play. They had scored the first 29 goals in the conference play, but off the penalty kick, it'll be Ivan Brito, his second of the year.
Goal scored in the 74th minute.
And the Dolphins shutout and conference shutout streak comes to an end. 12-1 the score. Zaki. Now it's Aledo. Dolphins playing the ball in the center of the field. Sosa. Now it's Lee. Lee looking to wind that ball in front, but it'll be knocked away by the Cardinal defense. Lee crossing the ball in front. That shot going to be shanked and out of bounds. It'll be a free kick coming up here for the Cardinals. Just the third goal allowed by the Dolphins in their last 7 games.
I'm sorry. Who are you going in for? 18. Thank you.
As the Cardinals will have a free kick upcoming.
If I write it, I'll remember.
Rojas over to Ramos. Ramos. It's Cardinals with possession. Now Brito. We have a whistle. The Cardinal play it down. .14-10 remaining in the game. Dolphins in control. Women's team in action. This afternoon, they travel down to Pennsylvania. They'll play Newman University. As the women's team playing well as their only loss in their last 8 games, a 5-1 loss to William Patterson earlier in the week. They're also undefeated in conference play, as they'll play Newman this afternoon, FDU Florham on Wednesday afternoon. They're getting back into conference play next Saturday against CCNY. You know, ordinarily, of course, in a game like this, you wouldn't necessarily worry about a late penalty, but Dolphins did have a shutout streak going in conference play, and you kind of hate to have it kind of taken away on a tough penalty call deep along the near sideline in the box. Really a non-threatening play for the Cardinals. But nonetheless, the Cardinals end up with a goal as Brito gets the goal, his second of the season, and that breaks the shutout streak for the Dolphins. But lots of positives here for the Dolphins, lots of goal scoring, and Lefkowitz with 3 goals and 2 assists to lead the way, and Montesinos, who really didn't even get into action until about 6 minutes remaining in the first half, with 2 goals as well for the Dolphins, as Cardinals will clear it down, as Folds will be there to make the play on the ball as the clock continues to run now. 11:48 remaining. All Dolphins here this afternoon. Mentioned earlier the cross-country match that will take place tomorrow morning, I should say, as Montesinos comes in once again. But the flag was up for the offsides on Chris, so it'll be a free kick coming up here for the Dolphins, for the Cardinals, I should say. But men's and women's cross-country in action tomorrow morning at Clove Lakes Park, and it really is a lot more fun to watch than you would think, and it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. So a nice day to come out, get up early in the morning, come out to Clove Lakes Park and watch a little cross-country action tomorrow afternoon as CSI hosts the CSI Invitational. A beautiful through ball into Sosa. The flag is down. Sosa in on goal. Sosa puts it towards net. It's going to be knocked away, but he's there to grab the rebound and put it in the net. And the Dolphins pick up a goal. Their fourth of the second half, as it'll be Alex Sosa with the goal. And the Dolphins now lead by a score of 13-1.
Dolphins goal scored by number 10, Alex Sosa.
We should mention the official time kept out on the field as Sosa picks up his second goal of the game, third of the season in the 80th minute. The Dolphins with 22 shots on goal compared to just 2 for the Cardinals. And they lead by a score of 13-1. Tough tackle is Zaki taken down in midfield, and we'll have a foul called on the Cardinals. And that'll lead to a free kick coming up here for the Dolphins. Once the Dolphins picked up that fourth goal really in the 21st minute, the outcome of the game really no longer in doubt as Montesinos coming in on that play. And instead it's going to be saved nicely that time in goal by the Cardinals as Tyrese Jackson, the second half goalie substitute, makes the play. Burrell looking to go through, but instead Lee will be there to take it away and feed it back to Zaki. Now Lehman's pass through is going to be cut out nicely by Magpagal. As the Cardinals look to charge through in midfield, then we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on the Dolphins, so another free kick opportunity coming up here for the Cardinals. Dolphins looking to play it through, and that's going to be Salas. Salas with a lot of space on the far side of the field. Salas looking to turn the ball in front, gets it over to Zaki. Zaki's shot, and Jackson will be there to make the save. So nice play by the Dolphins, leads to a shot on goal. But the save is made by Jackson. Montesinos. They were looking to get the ball up over to Lee, but it's going to be knocked away. And the Dolphins will play the ball back. Cuomo. Zaki in the center of the field. Zaki with a little bit of space. Now it's Salas. Salas very active since checking into the game. Beautiful pass over to Lee. Lee now looking to get the ball to Sosa. Sosa rolling it up over to Lehman. Lehman with a little bit of space. Nice feed inside to Salas. Salas, a beautiful pass to Montesinos, but we're going to have an offsides called on the play. Seven minutes to go in this one. Outcome of the game well decided. As the Cardinals now look to come up and attack offensively. As Magpagal with the ball. Challenged by Sosa. Now Ramos gets forced back. Our next women's soccer broadcast is Wednesday afternoon, FDU Florham, 3:30 start. 3:15 pregame is an opportunity here as Magpie gets through, but a nice defensive play. And that threat goes by the boards for the Cardinals. Lehman. Long ball all the way across the field to Salas. Knocked out of bounds, and a throw in now for the Dolphins. Our next men's broadcast will be next Saturday afternoon. Another conference game against Hunter College at 12. The women will be in action at 2 against CCNY. So conference doubleheader action. Two different teams here at the CSI Soccer Complex. As we work our way into the middle of this conference season, Season that within 3 weeks will be over. So lots of soccer coming up, and every game important in conference play. As we head towards the CUNYAC Championships, the women looking to defend their 3-time CUNYAC Championship, and the men looking to break a long streak without one. Lee with the ball. Lee with space. Lee a winding ball across, and that's going to be cut out nicely by the Cardinal defense, but Lehman's there to keep the pressure on and feed it over to Lee. Lee winding the ball in front. It's going to be knocked away defensively by Idrisu. And now it's going to be played by Magpagao. Over to Ramos, who's played better here in the second half, and now Burrell. Burrell gets the ball forward to Magpagao. He looked to back heel the ball, but instead it's going to be played by Salas in a little bit of space. Salas turns, shoots, and scores. Brenny Salas with a beautiful move, got to work one-on-one against the Cardinal defense, and once again made no mistake, and he's played very well since checking into the game here this afternoon for the CSI Dolphins. He scored their 9th goal to finish the first half in that 45th minute, and then really here in the second half picked up another pair, and it's 14-1. Dolphins in control. Casinos feeds Salas one-on-one and breaks through and puts it in the net again as the Dolphins score their 15th of the year, and they lead 15-1. Is not even enough time for Dave Pizzuto to run over, put the goal in before the Dolphins roll in another one and lead by a score of 15-1. So it's Salas followed by Salas. And he's been running and hustling all over the field since checking into the game for the Dolphins. He checked in with about 14 minutes remaining in the first half, picked up a goal in the last minute of that first half, and has come out here in the second half and put up a hat trick.
Goals scored by Brenny Salas, both assisted by Carlos Montesinos.
And Montesinos with 2 goals and 2 assists and looking for a third goal, and he's going to get it as Montesinos now with 3 goals and 2 assists here in the second half as the Dolphins explode for 3 goals here in the last minute or 2 minutes or so, and they lead by a score of 16-1 as they've just been running wild through the Cardinal defense.
In the 88th minute.
So we mentioned the women will be in action at 3 o'clock against Newman College. That game taking place in Pennsylvania. And it looks like only live stats will be available for that game. So unless you're heading your way down to Pennsylvania or you're there already, you can follow the game on live stats. The link, of course, available on the CSI Dolphin website at csidolphins.com, where you can get all your information regarding everything regarding CSI sports, including all of the results of today's tennis, today's volleyball matches, and today's women's soccer match. The men in control of this one with under 90 seconds remaining, as they've broken this one open, is York picked up a goal on a penalty kick to end the Dolphins' shutout streak. But other than that, it's been all Dolphins here this afternoon. 27 shots on goal. They didn't allow a corner kick. Christian Carucci, who's serving the second game of his 2-game suspension for the red card he picked up against Rutgers Newark, out of the lineup. But Torres comes in the first half, gets 45 minutes of shutout action. Foles comes in, plays in the second half, and gives up a goal on a penalty kick. And the Dolphins will remain undefeated, up their overall record to 8-3 as they look to break in once again on goal, and will pull the ball out. The women, who are undefeated in conference play as well, 6-3 overall, will look for their 7th win. The men will go to 8-3 and 4-0 in the conference. Women's volleyball team won their earlier match here this afternoon, so lots of smiles around the campus here this afternoon as we count down the final 8 seconds of the game. And that's going to do it. The College of Staten Island wins their 4th conference game in a row, and they up their record to 8-3 as they're able to defeat York College by a final score of 16-1. So nice game for the Dolphins here this afternoon. They came out, they did what they needed to do. They'll have a big conference game this Wednesday afternoon against Brooklyn College. Then they'll be back in action on Saturday against Hunter College. The women have their game on the road against Newman College this afternoon. Then they'll be back. Pair of home games. FDU Florham will come in this Wednesday afternoon, and CCNY will play this Saturday afternoon. So that's going to wrap things up here from the CSI Complex. Special thanks to Charles Gomes for coming out and sitting out here and doing the whole first half with us, and nice enough to talk about this game and a whole range of fall Dolphin sports. Of course, Joe Foreman, you heard his voice on the broadcast all afternoon long, and of course, Dave Pizzuto out here doing all the jobs that need to be done and taking care of business and allowing us to get on the air and broadcast these games for you. So that's going to wrap things up. Don't forget to join us. Our next soccer broadcast will be this Wednesday afternoon, 3:15 pregame, 3:30 start, as the College of Staten Island will be home in a non-conference battle against FDU Florham. So this is Mike Babusky saying so long and thanks for watching. Once again, the final score, the Dolphins defeat York College by a final score of 16-1. Have a great afternoon, everybody, and we'll see you soon.
Alright, Mike. I'm sorry for you, but your ear is. Well, no, you had to do it. But by yourself? Yeah, the mic.
Charles came out, it was big.
The earphones are telling you. Black. Yeah, but I was apologizing that you had to do that alone. Second half.
Yeah, no, scoreboard stays up because there's another game coming up. Hold on, just look. Perfect. Hold on. Well, he has to always sign. Those are yours.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for everyone. Right ahead.
Good job, Dave.
No problem. Thank you. Sam, if you can give these to their coach, please.
Don't envy you. Running up and down out there.
Yeah, no ball over there? For a second. Really? Oh, like, yeah. I wasn't sure what that meant.
I got a copy, right?
Yeah.
Dave, I can start breaking this down?
Yes, sir.
Where do I sign?
Yeah, it's so limited.
We
Yeah,
go.
we just
See you
sign
Wednesday.
right there.
I think I'll be
And you want to keep this one? Okay.
I'll be back.
Where are they going to sign? There, one?
It's anywhere there, yeah.
Take care, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you, Young. Thank you.
Probably be like 60 degrees, the water.
Joe, you can get rid of these too.
Yep.